Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I'm here with Federico Ziviani, who's the boss of Gerald Charles. How are you?
Very good, Wei. Welcome.
I've just discovered that he's apparently quite an extraordinary chef, and in the Gerald Charles showroom, which is really lovely, there's a full functioning kitchen. So I'm kind of waiting for the next time I can come here, and he said he's good at carbonara, which is one of my favorites as well, right?
You will judge. I'll let you do it.
No cream, right?
No, forget. Oh my God, the cream.
It's an American thing. They put cream in the carbonara. So just the egg yolks is enough to create this emulsification and this beautiful creamy texture. And then you use guanciale or you use the...
Guanciale, proper.
Fantastic.
But I'm going to do the eggs in a way that you don't cook it, but it's creamy.
This sounds fantastic. Okay, I'm looking forward to this. So we are here to, of course, enjoy everything that is beautiful about Italy, including pasta, but also watches. So Federico, tell me what we have on the tray here, bro.
So luckily, they're made in Switzerland, not in Italy.
Yes.
We leave for Italy the pasta and the watches here
Indeed.
In Geneva. So today we have the 3 new Masterlinks with the gem set. You can see they're like candies with these beautiful colors. And the Masterlink is the most modern of our watches. It comes, of course, from one of the original designs of Gerald that you can see actually there in the museum. It was a unique piece made for the royal family of Sarawak.
Wow.
For Rosie, back in 2007.
Sarawak?
Yes,
that's
that
cool.
watch, that sketch.
My wife's family is originally from Malaysia.
Yeah?
Yeah, from Kuching.
And they will tell you something off the record about this watch. But on the record,
yes,
it's the unique piece. It was 45 carats of stones, and it had this very special integrated bracelet. And starting from there, we designed with Octavio Garcia. I think you
I know Octavio.
Octavio.
Octavio's my buddy. He was I met him when he was at AP. Right?
Yeah. He's a friend from there. That's how I got to know him.
Nice.
Through my father at AP and so on. And Octavio reinterpreted this original sketch. And what's very special is the asymmetry of the links. I don't know if you noticed that the curved links on one side. Yeah.
That's really interesting, actually. Wait, I'm going to have to put my old man glasses on, otherwise I can't see.
Don't say old man, come on.
Oh, sure.
You see, it's very subtle, it's very soft.
Were the original links asymmetric as well?
Absolutely.
So he's kept this that they're slightly larger on one side and then the other side.
Exactly, and then on the closing, on the buckle, you see that the curved links match with the they match here with the straight links. So it's probably the only asymmetric bracelet to my knowledge. Maybe you know more than me, there is somebody else that does it. But to my knowledge, we're the only one to make it asymmetric like that.
So if you guys look here, then you see that these links are all curved, right? And they flow all the way through here to the pointed clasp. And then on this side, the links are straight and they flow all the way through to here. And then just at the center of the deployant, you see that this is where the curved links meet the straight links. And then there's, that's cool. It's funny because it adds a kind of visual tension that your eye is not sure why. There's this kind of push and pull effect, but it's a very subtle but very smart detail. And this was the touch of Mr. Genta then?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
That's what he designed on that unique piece, because that Sarawak collector didn't want the leather strap.
So if you guys come here, you can see that this is a sketch in 2007 from a pièce unique created for a gentleman from Sarawak. From Sarawak, right? And if you look here, you'll see that this case is asymmetric, and you see there's a curve here, and this curve is rippling through the center links of this bracelet. It echoes through here almost like ripples in a pond, right? And then you can see the top of this case here is flat. And then you have, as a motivation, these flat links that happen here. And so the whole top of this is flat, and the whole bottom of this is sensual and curved. There's a lot of car designs, like Pininfarina, for example, or Zagato, where they take curved shapes and they contrast it with like straight shapes. And this dynamic tension between the two of them creates a sense of energy, velocity.
It does, velocity.
Right, and that's what you see there. Very interesting, and then that's what you see here.
You touched the velocity point. Actually, the inspiration was a bullet train for Octavio. The way that Octavio interpreted it
That's cool.
Was a bullet train. You see how it ran fast across the line?
Yeah. And then everything's feeding into that as well. So you straight here, curved here, sort of like this pull effect. And then you have these vertical lines through here, this guilloche, and then that creates this sense of like dynamic energy through the watch.
What do they make you think, these vertical lines? Think about outfit.
Outfit looks like a tuxedo. It looks like the shirt of a smoking, you know. So there's like a
pinstripe suit.
Yeah, or a pinstripe suit. Oh, really?
Yeah. Octavio said that he wanted to connect to the Genta legacy, Mr. Genta legacy of Italy that he was originally from,
right.
And they wanted to make this Italian gentleman pinstripe suit on the watch and do of the comfort of the watch like a tailor-made suit.
It's funny because if you look at all the images of Gérald Genta, like he's always beautifully dressed. Most of the time he's wearing one of his signature double-breasted suits. And he has this, I found out that he actually used to design while he was wearing like a suit and tie, which I find rather remarkable. You know, like to put himself in the right frame of mind of that sense of elegance. So I guess you have that transmitted here. Does anyone know who his tailor was?
Not really.
I wonder if it was Caraceni, you know, like, because it seems like all the great guys from this era went to, well, I guess Domenico Caraceni had passed away by that point, but it could be. But anyway, we will find out in part 2 of our conversation about the sartorial arts of Gérald Genta. Very cool. So what are the different stones that we see here?
So here they have sapphire.
Okay.
So we're talking about blue sapphires. We have red sapphires, and we have the green tsavorite.
So I'm going to take out the green tsavorite one for you as well.
We decided to use tsavorite instead of emerald because we could get a more consistent color across the line, across the spectrum. It's very difficult, you know, sometimes with the emerald to find always the same color for the stones.
Federico, we see a lot of guys now wearing gem-set sport chic watches. Why do you think that this has become kind of a thing?
Because the watch is the #1 jewelry for men, I believe. Even if now other type of jewelry for men are becoming more popular. But I believe that gem-set are a craft of art, especially to cut them, to put it to a horological level. It's not something obvious. We do it here in Geneva, so it's something very high level for us.
And talk to us a little bit about the movement in this watch.
So the movement is a micro-rotor caliber with ceramic ball bearings. You could see them if you zoom in, so it reduces the friction and it makes it last longer. It winds very well. It has 50 hours of power reserve, and we're very proud to say that it's one of the thinnest movements that you find out there, 2.7 millimeter.
2.7 millimeters?
Yes.
You know what's kind of cool about this movement is that they've made a decision to hide half of the balance wheel, you know, because this bridge is so that you've got the micro rotor here and then the bridge for the balance. You actually think it's this one continuous bridge from here to here, but it's not. It creates this kind of optical illusion. And then you're like wondering how is the balance just floating here. It's actually connected to this bridge just here. It's very clever, actually. So there's a lot of design that went even into the architecture of the movement. Right?
Enormous, because if you see, the movement also has these vertical stripes. So we create this kind of transparency between dial and movement.
So you're the sort of the vertical Geneva stripes that we see here on this black rhodium movement is they're echoed by the vertical lines that we see here. That reminds us of Mr. Genta's love for sartoria and the pinstriped Italian suit. It's funny also because, like, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but pinstripes were started in England, right? And it actually used to signify which bank that you belong to, based on the thickness of your stripes or the pattern of your stripes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so all the key bankers, the reasons why people like think of pinstripes as belonging to banks is it was created as almost a uniform for different bankers in London. So if you came from one bank, you would have a certain width of your pinstripes. If you came from another bank, you might have a double pinstripe, for example, right? Which I love a double pinstripe, incidentally. But I love the Italians because they disconnected it from this whole idea of formality and work and made it something very exuberant and fun and self-expressive, right? And I think
using colors also.
And also using beautiful use of colors as well. You know?
I remember I was with my father, with Gerald. I was very young, I was probably 5 years old, and we were having a lunch together. And I have this flash image that he was wearing this shirt with red, white, and blue.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have this. You know, when you're young, you have these flashes. But how do you like the Masterlink compared to the Maestro? How do you differentiate the two from your perspective?
I think this is a little bit sleeker, you know, and a little bit more, I'll put the Maestro on.
This is the Jumping Hour Remaster.
I love this pattern of guilloche that you have on here as well. It's so dynamic, right?
Thank you. Do you know about it?
Tell me.
How do we do it?
You please.
Yeah, of course. So this is a special pattern that we developed with some EPFL, École Polytechnique Lausanne.
It's a very good school from what I understand. Right?
Some engineers that used to work there, and it comes from the biotech world.
Really?
So it's a guilloche, we call it meta guilloche, because it goes beyond guilloche. It is electromechanical engraving. It starts with a laser lithography on a flat line, and then an electrochemical dissolution to transfer these on a curved line. And you have about 35,000 lines in this pattern.
It's really cool.
Which creates a special reflection of light.
So it's a combination of engraving and erosion.
Absolutely.
And 35,000
microlines. I will take you to the lab after. You can see on the microscope. I will zoom you in and you will see all the lines inside.
Yeah, there's a sleekness to it. You know, there's a joie de vivre. There's kind of like, it always kind of, it's funny to me because when you think about this golden era of like sport sheet watches that were launched in the 70s, you know, you have to understand like what's happening then is really, you're really in the throes of the quartz crisis. And to be fair, some of those watches also had quartz movements. But there's a meaning for like mechanical watches that's being created by making them not just functional timepieces, but like formed art for the wrist. And the place that embraced it the most was Italy. Was actually the very first one was created for the Italian market, right? And why? Because there's this kind of like nonchalant elegance that is, you know, that's the style. And like if you go to the Italian Riviera, you know, and especially in that era where you had all the big Italian playboys, like, right? This everyone from, you know, I think Agnelli was still around to Gigi Risi to like all of these guys. It's like this effortless like style, which is really nice. So.
And Italy today is one of our biggest markets still. It's the first one where we started and it's still giving us satisfactions.
But you know what was remarkable to me is I would never imagine your watch to be actually worn by like athletes while playing sports. So this is an all new thing as well. Tell me about that, man.
So it's my passion. It was my take into the brand. No?
Right.
When I joined the brand, I saw all the archive that you have here in the Geneva Museum, and I wanted to add functionality to it. No?
Right.
Because you said earlier on that there is a lot of design, a lot of jewelry from the watches, no?
Correct.
Jewelry element, but why not making it functional as well?
Yes.
So we intervened to make everything waterproof to 100 meters. We develop a technology, Ergotech, we call it, to make the watch sit rather flat on your wrist. And ultimately I said, how can I make it known to the public that really the watch is comfortable? So my passion was tennis. And they said, well, if I can get tennis players to play with a watch on the wrist, it must be comfortable.
Yes.
And they started to reach out to few players, and a few of them decided to start developing with us.
Right.
So the first one was a Georgian player, Nicolo Basilashvili, who's also a big guy in watches. Few people know, but he likes a lot.
Oh, I didn't realize he's a watch collector. Yeah.
He collects a lot.
Right.
And then Ubi Urkac from Poland,
right.
and Andrea Vavassori from Italy, and they all helped us to move the crown. They said, if you want me to play, you need to move the crown to the opposite
other side. Right.
And that's what we did.
Right.
It was a bold move because you don't see many lefty watches in the market.
Right.
And then we did some adjustments on the caliber. We did test to ensure that it could absorb 5G of shock.
Right.
And this all together, we said we need a visual identity for it. So I said, why we don't take inspiration from the tennis courts? You have the clay court,
right.
the grass court, the art court.
It's cool.
And we use the texture of the court for the dial.
Right.
And we make them play on the court with the matchy watch.
Which is cool because if you look at the Grand Slam season, you're shifting from different types of courts, right? Yeah. Like the French Open, for example, is on clay, and then famously Wimbledon's on grass, and then the New York Open is on a hard court as well. And so you actually have dials matching for each of these textures.
We do, and I will show you later
cool.
on.
Right.
It's
clever.
It's special.
Okay. Well, Federico, thank you so much for walking me through the two different models, the one on your wrist and, of course, this one as well. Congratulations on this new launch. Stick around because we're now going to take a look at how some of this technology is applied to the dials, and also we're going to take a look at the watches that are worn in combat while playing professional tennis.